Hi everyone. Today we will see on the working of data table in Power Automate desktop. Okay. So welcome back. And before proceeding, I would request you to please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So what are data tables? Data tables uh, are kind of a data structure which stores data in a tabular form and are the equivalent of two-dimensional arrays in programming terms. So if you are from Java or some other background, you will relate to this. Okay. So a data table contains rows and columns that describe the position of each item uniquely. Okay. So data tables can be considered as lists that contain data rows as items. And Power Automate desktop tool provides the create new data table action to create new data tables. Okay. So this is a image of a data table, sample data table. So here we have this kind of a multi-dimensional array. Okay, so this is a data table. So here we have the column names. Okay, and then we have multiple rows, and then we have values corresponding to each of the columns. Okay. Okay, so now moving on. So how do you create variables? Sorry, how do you create data tables? So you can use set variable option, or also you can use create data table option. Okay, so this is the notation you have to follow while creating a data table. Okay, so this is the structure or syntax you have to follow. So as it mentioned over here, so you have to give the percentage sign outside and then the curly bracket and then one square bracket and then your values. Okay, so like for column 1 value is product 1, column 2 value is 10 USD. So this is row 1. Then you have row 2 and the column and for row 2 the column 1 value is product 2, column 2 value is 20 USD, and so on. So you can add any number of rows over here as long as you maintain the column structure. Okay, so this is a two-dimensional array. Okay, data table. Okay, so now how do you add a new row to an existing data table? So you can use insert row into data table action, or also you can use a set variable option. So there are two ways you can use the insert row into data table action, which is already provided by the Power Automate, or you can use set variable. Okay, so this is the syntax you have to follow. So here the products is the name of the data table. So then you have to give here percentage sign and products, that is name of the data table, and then this column 1 value, column 2 value. Okay, so you have to strictly maintain this structure. How do you read values from data table? So you can follow this syntax like the variable name and the row number and column number. As you know, data table contains row and column, and this is the name of the data table. So keep in mind that row number and the data and the column number should be 0 for the first item, because it is header, right? um, suppose okay, so now here we have suppose that a flow retrieves the content of an Excel worksheet and stores in a data table. Yeah, so when you read Excel, you get the values back in Excel or in data table format. Okay, so you access this value using this same syntax. Okay, so data table and then row column. Okay, so if you want to access a specific column in a data table, so you have to follow this structure. We have to, in quotes, you have to give the column name. Okay, and here it is a number. Since it is a string, so here it is, we are giving in quotes. If you loop through a data table with a for each action, so you get the current row in that is in a variable that is called a data. Okay, and this is how you use the mm, syntax to access a particular a row of a data table. Okay, like from start row or stop row. So here suppose you have a data table which has 10 rows. So here you can give, like, if you want to get only the fourth and fifth row, so here you can give uh, 0 1 2 3 0 starts with 0, right? So you need to give 3 and 4 here. Okay, and So what is a data row? So data row contains the value of a single row of a data table. So when you loop through a data table, right, using for each action, you what the current data we are getting in the variable that is called a data row. Okay. So again, you read it through the the syntax. Okay, variable name and item number, or you can give the column name. Okay. Since it is a current row, right? So no need to give row number. You might be thinking why there is no row number, because it considers single row when you are looping through a data table. So the current row is the one, and you just have to mention the column name. Okay. Well, let me show you some demo I have created. So here I have just created some variables. Okay. So variable value is 2024 for variable 1, variable 2 is 2025, and here I have created a data table manually. So here I give an ID1, ID2, yeah, and it produces a data table. How do I insert a row into data table? So this is the syntax you have to follow for when you are putting the variables, okay, in place of hard-coded values. So when you do like this, right, when you select the variable, it will give you in this format. So you need to remove this percentage sign manually. Okay, so you just have to give the percentage sign outside. Okay, as I put it here. Otherwise, you will get error. Also, you need to give the square bracket, not the curly bracket. Okay, and you have to maintain the column numbers, right? So as you know, this data table has two columns, so you should give two variables only. Okay, else it will throw error. Okay. Also, you can explore more on it, like you, as I mentioned, right? How do you create using set variable? Let's create one more data table using set variable also. So let me pull a let me pull a set variable again. Okay. So yeah, we can take the same example. Now I will give a data table. Data table name is dt. Okay. And here I have column 1, column 2 value, column 1, column 2 value. This is the first row. This is the second row. Okay. Let's save it. Let's run from here only. Okay. Yeah. So you can see there two rows are added over here. So let me run everything again. Let me clear the values. Let me run everything again. Yeah. So everything has run successfully. So here in this first data row, data table, you have got all the values. Okay. Now in the second data table also, it is successfully populated. Right. So this is how you work with data tables. Okay. Then yeah. So you can use again the syntax to add a new data row in a data table. So instead of insert row, you can use set variable also. You can use this expression. Okay. How do you read from data table? You can use this expression. Okay. So let's see. Let me quickly see if I can read this. Display the message. Okay. So reading data table. So let me put over here. Okay. Now what is the syntax? You have to give row and column, right? So let's read 0 and first column. Okay. So this is what I can close automatically now. Now let's run everything again. Okay, so now it has given me 10 USD. Now what is the value in this? Okay, so it has 10 USD, right? Let's validate whether it is correct or not. Yeah, 10 USD. So I think that's all from the demo side. I hope you find this useful. And once again, I want to iterate that you follow this structure when you're using when you're inserting variables. Okay. Else you can directly give a value like in quotes. Okay. But for variables, you have to be extra careful. And if you don't follow this syntax, you will get error. After much trial and error, I found this syntax, so I wanted to share with you. Okay, then thank you guys, and please do subscribe to my channel and leave your valuable comments. Thank you so much. Bye bye.